This particular favourite story relates to Noir and how Star Thoroughbreds came to purchase her at the 2015 Easter yearling sale. When I was carrying out my first inspections a few days before the sale, I looking at the high growth stud draft, and there's a couple of fillies in there that I particularly liked, a Foxwedge filly and a Lonhro filly. And at the end of the inspections, I pulled Ron Gilbert aside and said, Ronnie, where do you sort of see the values on these two fillies at the moment? And he said to me, sort of 150 to 200. So that's sort of in our price bracket, so I left them on the short list. When I went back a couple of days later for a second inspection, still like both the fillies. I said to Ron afterwards, are you still seeing the values in that sort of bracket? And he said, look, there's been a lot more interest in the Lonhro. I think it's probably up around 200 plus now. But that's still in our price bracket, so I left it on the list. Went back again the next day, and Ron said to me, there's lots of interest now in the Lonhro filly, and I'm thinking that's going to make sort of 250 plus. So I left that off the short list and then gave the short list to Denise with the Foxwedge filly still on it. Not sure what happened, but the Foxwedge filly got passed in with a reserve of 150,000. I phoned up Denise and said, Denise, that Foxwedge filly got passed in. I reckon it'd be good buying at or around that sort of 150 mark. So she went down, saw Ron Gilbert, and they did some negotiation, and she agreed to buy it for 135. That, of course, is Noir. About an hour and a half later, the Lonhro filly went through the ring and sold for $825,000. So it goes to show you how hard it can be to value stock. How someone even with Ron Gilbert's experience as a vendor, we sort of went to the sale thinking he might have two fillies that might make about the same sort of money. One he couldn't sell for 150, and the other got 825 for. So, whenever you ask someone to value a horse for them, just have that in mind. It's pretty difficult caper.
New Zealand's Waikato Stud has developed a rich history of not only taking the leading vendor title at the NZB Karaka yearling sales every year, but also for producing champions on the track. Their champion sire, Savabeel, is still going strongly, particularly through the deeds of star filly Savabeel, while Ocean Park has really stepped up to the plate. This week, the Chittix announced the star son of Dundeal, Super Seth, will be retiring to their Matamata property this spring, becoming the first Caulfield Guineas winner in 30 years to stand in New Zealand, also being a two-time winning 2-year-old from a Reduced Choice mare. Super Seth will stand his first season for 35,000 New Zealand dollars plus GST. Savabeel has been listed at a fee of $100,000 for the 2020 season, while Ocean Park rises $5,000 to a $20,000 fee. While filming at Waikato Stud prior to the COVID-19 lockdown, I caught up with Mark Chittick for the latest news from Waikato.
Super Seth from the clouds, it's close! Super Seth has put in a mighty lunge!
Huge thrill securing Super Seth. A fantastic racehorse, and just to have the guys involved and have Jonathan involved more so in New Zealand. He's a great supporter of New Zealand. It was fantastic. We believe that horses like him that win races like that in Australia really are the backbone of Australasian breeding success, and certainly fits into the mould of our previous and current success. As soon as he went across the line in the Caulfield Guineas, it was time to make a move.
And it is quite a coup for New Zealand, really. I mean, to get a Caulfield Guineas winner, he's by Dundeal, so he continues that fabulous, Zabeel legacy. You've had so much success with Savabeel, but a Reduced Choice mare, Rory's Jester in there, solo performance, solo show family. I mean, there's so much great blood in him and racetrack performance.
Yeah, it really is a very fast family, and one that strong mile, time-honoured race, and good form out of that race since it. Beat an unbeaten horse at the time, and it is a huge, let's say, coup for New Zealand, but for us it just, let's say, not so much follows in the footsteps of what we've been doing, but since you know, Savabeel's 18 years old now and came to us as a 3-year-old. So in the last 15 years, we're very proud to say that we have put together the ownership of $60 million worth of stallions that are standing here at Waikato Stud, and we're the major shareholders in them. And you know, at the end of the day, that's what our game is all about. It's about getting the right horse, and there's no doubt about it, he is the right horse.
Look, it's been so wonderful to see the ascension of Ocean Park as well. I mean, as a stallion, as a Cox Plate winner, you know, he's obviously the Thorn Park, who's a champion New Zealand sire. Savabeel mare, you know, just so much going for him. But Colding winning the Epsom and so many other great stakes winners recently. And he's really furnished into the man, hasn't he now?
Yeah, he certainly has. His early part of his stud career was a little frustrating with the 3 seconds in Group 1 races, the New Zealand Derby, the Rosehill Guineas, and the Queensland Oaks. You know, and they were inches. You know, so it was quite frustrating. So we had the confidence that it would happen, and certainly this spring it really has happened. And you've had Colding, you've had Tivaci, and many winners. And usually when we stand a horse in New Zealand like he is, we get that success here. And just we're really sort of earning for the success to happen in Australia. His progeny, a lot of his progeny ended up right from the word go in Australia, so the success has happened there, which is the ultimate for us.
And I mean, we do talk, you know, you do generalise, I suppose, talking about stepping in the footsteps of your champions like Centane, Pins, O'Reilly, etc. And he's stepping into the footsteps, I guess, also of Savabeel. I mean, Savabeel at the moment, what he's done recently, added to what he's already done in the past. But, you know, horses like Probabeel, Acting, you know, Superior, the Chosen One, Sire of Diadem, who's been a fabulous broodmare. I mean, he just keeps going, doesn't he? And they're big shoes to fill for the next boys coming through.
Absolutely. The pressure certainly has been on him because he's sort of been, let's say, a little bit on his own. So it's great to get Ocean Park, as you say, following in his footsteps. And his boots are big boots to fill because he is such a versatile stallion. He leaves 2-year-olds through to older horses, sprinters through to, you know, 2-milers, fillies, colts, whatever. Huge legacy, and huge for New Zealand, huge for us. And you know, for Ocean Park to be getting this success now at that level, backs up Savabeel, and you know, makes Waikato Stud even stronger. They're
both interesting characters, aren't they? Savabeel's so laid back, but he's still, you know, he's the boss really, but Ocean Park seems to think he is. He's got that attitude, doesn't he?
Oh, there's no doubt about it. Yeah, Savabeel, you're right, he knows it.
Yeah.
And but Ocean Park, he just wants to do everything fast. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter whether it's in the breeding shed or in his paddock or going to his paddock or eating or whatever. He just wants to do things fast. He really does mean business, and he served a big book, and a lot of those numbers have come later on in the spring with, unfortunately, the demise of a couple of horses here in New Zealand and his success and mainly his success through that spring. So he served a big book, and a lot of them have come late, so he's been very busy. But you see him here today, just right in the last few days of the season, and he just handles it like a top.
Another of your stallions I loved as a racehorse, of course, Tivaci by High Chaparral from the Fastnet Rock mare Breccia. Obviously an all-age stakes winner, a Group 1 winning sprinter by High Chaparral. And when you see him gliding along in the paddock, that canter, he's got the most beautiful long canter for a Group 1 winning sprinter. But there's so much High Chap, but so much versatility.
That's right. I think there's a great cross of High Chaparral and Fastnet Rock there. The Fastnet Rock, to me, has put a bit of strength and substance into the High Chaparral, and the High Chaparral really has, let's say, tidied up the bigger parts of the Fastnet Rock breed. But you're right. He won the all-age stakes. That whole pattern that day was off the front, and he's second to last on the turn. Showed a massive turn of foot, which is one thing that we always look for and always want in our stallions. Well, he showed an incredible turn of foot to win that day, and he is just leaving such a consistent type. Very like himself, good size, a lot of substance. We did some Tivaci foals a year ago in the paddock, and they've just gone on and on from there. Mare with size, mare without size, you know, mare light boned, heavier mare, whatever. He just leaves a consistent type, just like himself, which very predictable breeder. So and lovely type.
And Ardrossan, your new boy, he was just so magnificent when he won the Concord Stakes. He's a son of Redute's Choice, a magnificent type. Just didn't have the best of luck through his career, really, did he?
That's exactly right. You hit the nail on the head there. He was unbeaten as a 2-year-old and won over 800 metres first start, and then 1200 metres listed race. Went to Australia, had the heart problems, well documented heart problems, went in training with Mick Price. Came back, and we were very lucky to get him back to the racetrack. Won the Concord, ran third all across the line together with Melody Bell and the Bostonian, so that was huge form. And then off we go to Australia, struck a wet track, and then unfortunately strained a tendon. So it was a shame. I mean, And it's, in some ways he reminds me a little bit back in the days of O'Reilly. We were lucky to see that he could run. O'Reilly won his Group 1s, etc. And this horse didn't get the opportunity to do that. But he certainly showed enough that he had unbelievable speed, beautiful animal, beautiful mover, lovely type. He's probably got about 70, 75 mares in foal this year. If he leaves types like himself, 70 odd live foals or something like that, will be enough to give him every opportunity. We are one industry and one small industry, but the local racing is the side that's in trouble. I think the breeding side of things is strong, and the success that the New Zealand industry's just had throughout Australia has been massive. The involvement of John Mazzara has been so worth it, and we're very fortunate to have his expertise, experience, and him give his time. But obviously it's at government level, and it just takes so much time. But I'm hoping that there's light at the end of the tunnel, because it's a great game. It's a great place to do it. We're all passionate about it. One of the best places in the world to breed them, and you know, we're 3.5 hours away from the best racing in the world. So there's so much there to enjoy. It'd be just nice to be sort of racing for a better return here.
Just brilliant seeing new generations coming through at Waikato Stud, guaranteed to be winning our big races in Australia for many years to come. Coming up after the break on Bred to Win, the always popular and highly efficient Inglis insurance consultant Narelle Stocker on her passion for the industry in Arrowfield Studs, the horse who made you love racing.